All right, you guys, let's get going. We're here at Berkshire Yoga Dance and Fitness. It's Monday, August 24th, and this is our gentle flow yoga class. You don't need anything special, but if you do have blocks and you want to practice with those, you can go ahead and grab those. And we're going to start seated today. So you can come take a comfortable seat. If you're here with me live, I'll check in with you guys at the end. Otherwise, relax, enjoy, and I'll see you guys soon. Hi, my best friend Kristen is online from college. Oh, it's so good to see you. Okay, you guys, come take a seat. Great. Okay, I'm so glad you're here today, that we're adjusting and we're adapting. So you can come into your comfortable seat, let your hands come onto your lap, and just take some time to tune in to your body and your breath. So with hands down on the knees, eyes closed, let's take some time to settle into your seat. So any shifting side to side or forward and back, just to kind of come into our bodies and our breath. So with palms down, sit up tall, take a deep breath in. Exhale a sigh. Good, we'll do that again, deep breath in. And full breath out. And one last time, big breath. And exhale. Good, breathe in through your nose, pause at the top. Through your nose, exhale your cat back, so round your back, tuck your tail, scoop your belly, bring the navel in, chin towards chest, tailbone under. Inhale, float forward on the sit bones, lift the belly, lift the chest, lift the throat and face. And exhale, release, round your back, tuck your tail, scoop your belly, chin towards chest. And one more time, open up, inhale. Good, exhale, release, round your back. And then as you breathe in, start to lengthen your spine, shrug your shoulders up to your ears. Exhale, back and down. Inhale, shoulders to ears. Exhale, back and down. And last time, big breath in. And exhale, release. Let your palms open up so the backs of your hands are touching your lap. And as you exhale, drop your chin, heavy head, close your eyes. Take a deep inhale. And full exhale. As you breathe in, let the right ear come over to the right shoulder, open the left side of the neck. And as you exhale, let your chin come back to your chest. Come the other way, inhale ear to shoulder, so nice familiar warm up to start before we take our centering. Exhale, chin to chest. And then just one more time, each side, ear to shoulder. Back through center. And then last time, opposite side, ear to shoulder. And back through center. On an in-breath, lift the head up. Keep your eyes closed and breathe out where you are. Then deepen your breath. Breathe into the belly, the ribs, the heart and chest, long spine from tail to head. And exhale, release that breath from the chest to the ribs, to the belly. And you'll continue that Dirga breath, so you'll stay seated here with eyes closed, steady breath in and out through the nose. So just continuing with that, a few breaths. Good. And then the next time that you breathe in, you can let the hands float together to prayer. Let your palms meet in front of the heart. And as you exhale, bow your head to yourself. Take a moment to tune into any intention that you might want to work with today. Perhaps the intention of flexibility in our bodies and in our minds and in our hearts. So practicing this yoga not only to find a flexible body, but also flexible in our minds and our hearts, being able to adapt, to adjust, being able to step through our days more easily, more gracefully, finding the ability to adapt to challenges, to adapt to unexpected situations as they arise. And holding that relevant intention as we start our practice today together here on Facebook Live instead of our Zoom class. And just honoring that ability to change and adjust as we step through our days today, this week, this month, this season. Then as you inhale, slide your hands up towards the ceiling, lengthen the arms, lift the face, open the eyes. And exhale, open the arms, bring the chin to your chest, let your fingertips come down towards the ground, and then do that again. Take a big breath in, sweep the arms out and up, lift the arms up. Exhale, release. So just starting to link your breath with your movement. Inhale, rise. And exhale, release. You're going to hold the bottom. On an in-breath, float the right arm out to the side. Exhale, up and over to the left to pause. And you'll open up the right side of the ribs and waist and look up. From here, just turn the face forward. Take that top arm and just kind of cradle the head, almost like you could touch the edge of the ear maybe. And then draw the head up through center. Drop the opposite ear to shoulder so you get a little stretch in the neck. And then press out through opposite hand, either plugging into fingertips or letting that arm rise up off the ground. Good. Inhale, lift the top arm, lift the head. Exhale, release your hand behind, drop your chin, interlace your fingers. Press your fist down to squeeze the backs of the shoulders together, open up the heart, open up the chest, lift up and look up. And exhale, release the gaze, release the hands, roll the shoulders. Press into the fingertips behind you, open up the heart, elevating the chest, maybe lifting the hips, pressing the pelvis and hips forward. And exhale, release. You're just going to switch the cross of your legs. So go ahead and tip back and put the other leg in front. And if it's uncomfortable to be to cross legs, you could also be kneeling or any other variation. Take the left arm or opposite arm out and up, whatever side you haven't done yet. And you can start by looking up if that's comfortable to open the ribs, the hips, the armpit. And then from here, just turn your face forward so the head's right in line with the rest of the body. Take the top arm, cradle the top of the head. If you could touch the ear, the top of the ear, go ahead and touch the top of the ear. And then help to draw the head back up. And then tip your ear to your shoulder. Press out through your opposite hand so you're plugging fingers to the mat or you're floating the hand up off the ground. Couple breaths. And then release, lift the arm high to the sky. Exhale, release your hands behind, drop your chin, interlace your fingers again. Press the fist down, squeeze the shoulders together, open the heart, open the chest, look up. Exhale, release the gaze, release the hands, roll the shoulders, and one more time, press into the fingertips, lift the heart, maybe lift the hips, open the belly, open the chest. And exhale, release, back down. Let's come to all fours. You can either come over the shins or unwind the legs. Good. And then bring your hands a little further forward of your shoulders and start to circle your hips. Good. So if you're just tuning in or just finding us today, we're here for our Gentle Flow class. It's a class we typically teach on Zoom on Monday mornings at 9, but we had a little technical difficulty, so we're here on Facebook Live. So you're just catching the warm up here. Bring the hips to the back, all the way around the other side, and we'll do a full hour practice. So we'll go until 10:15. So if anyone was signed up that expected to end at 10, of course, if you have to end your practice early, that's okay. But if you're hoping for a full hour class, we'll be doing that, and we'll go till 10:15 together today. And then bring the hips back to the heels. Take a wide knee child's, touch the big toes, separate the knees. Let the body relax down into child's pose, a wide knee child. And send the breath into the low back, into the middle back, into the upper back. And as you exhale, release the upper back, and the middle back, and the lower back. From your wide knee child's pose, let's take a little side stretch. So walk the hands over to the right, just as far as they feel comfortable, and then you can drop the head back down and take a few breaths there. Good. Walk the hands the other way. You can shift the hips away from the arms maybe. Take that side stretch, so breathe right into the hip, the ribs, the waist, the armpit of that side, that open side. Good. Let's walk the hands through center. And coming into some flexion and extension here, roll through cat. Bring the knees underneath the hips. Keep undulating forward till you get to that relaxed upward dog you've done before. Dip the hips, lift the heart, look up. And exhale, hips back to heels. You'll stretch all the way back towards child. And you'll do that again. Roll forward, round your back all the way through to that upper. And exhale, release. The next time we come forward, let's come to our bellies just to loosen up the hips and the knees and the low back so you can melt yourself down. Make a pillow for your head. Stack your palms or fists, bend the knees, toes up, and let the legs fall left to right. And then let the legs circle one way. And let the legs circle the other way. And then with the knees right above the ankles, just roll the ankles around, or the ankles above the knees rather. And then roll the ankles the other way. Good. And then let the legs reach long. On your next in-breath, lift the right leg just a few inches towards the back of the room. And set it down. Lift the other leg just a few inches to the back of the room. And exhale, set it down. Bring your hands back near your chest, elbows up in the air, press into the hands, lift your heart just a couple inches or to a more full cobra, medium cobra, or full cobra. Take a breath. And exhale, lower back down. Shift yourself into tabletop, all fours. And when you get to table, line the wrists underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips, and just wag the hips a couple times side to side. Just loosening up the outer edge of the hip. And then pause with the hips right above the knees. We'll take some rotation in the spine for our warm-up. So the next time that you breathe in, bring the right arm out and up, lift the fingertips, look up. And as you exhale, thread the arm just halfway through, soften the left elbow, dip the right shoulder. And then do that again. Inhale, lift the right arm, look up. Exhale, thread just halfway through. Then last time, inhale to lift it up. Exhale to thread all the way through. Let the shoulder come down, let the head come down. You're going to pause here, and when you get into this threaded needle position of the shoulders, try to bring the hips right above the knees and be on the outer edge of the head rather than the side of the face, so there's a long, strong neck. And then this hand that's rooted to the ground could stay, or you could stretch it forward like a puppy pose, or you could lift it up. You could also internally rotate it. Bend the elbow, back of hand to hip, or fingers in the hip crease, and hold here. And breathe. Good. Arm that's folded behind the back, lift it up. Release that hand down to the ground. Press into your hand, unwind, lift the opposite arm out and up. And exhale, release. You'll do the whole thing on the other side. So inhale, left arm out and up, nice and easy. So the gentle flow class. Exhale, thread it halfway through. So we're moving slowly, we're moving mindfully, we're moving gently. Inhale, line, just a nice easy stretch for the body, building some strength, building some flexibility, building some balance in our bodies, in our minds, in our hearts. Inhale, look up. And exhale, go ahead all the way with that arm. So I'm going to go face this way. You can just tuck it right underneath, even out the hips, above the knees, and then you choose hand on the ground, or like puppy, or lift it up, or internal rotation, back of hand to hip or hip crease. Few breaths. Good. If the arm was folded back, lift it up. Release your hand back down. Press into that hand, unwind your body, lift it out and up. And exhale, release your hand down. So from here, we're going to do a little bit of hip work. So pressing into the hands, bring your left leg back to a three-legged table. So left leg's back to a three-legged table. And you're going to sweep this leg around. So bend the knee and kind of bring it around to the front, or grab a hold of it and just help it around to the front. So for some of us, we might want our blocks. So if you have blocks, you could have these right underneath the hands. You're coming into like a lizard lunge variation. So the left foot is out and around and it's in line with the hands. And then you can move the hands so that you're able to dip the hips to a point where you feel something in your psoas or your hip flexor. And then just pausing here, you can bow the head to your hips. So really breathing into that back hip, psoas, hip flexor. Couple breaths here. You could always keep the spine long and the head in line with the spine, or if you'd rather bow and relax and kind of soften here, that's fine. Excuse me, but breath and awareness really into the pelvis, the hips, the groin. And you're consciously keeping the left shin perpendicular with the mat and the knee in line with the ankle. So we're not really diving into that front leg so much. You have a strong front leg. Good. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a different variation than what we typically do here. So if you'd like, and this is going to be a little more vigorous, I know we're in our gentle class, you're going to choose if you want to take it or not. You could take your back toes curled under and lift it up. So now we're in more of an active lunge. And we're about to take this to kind of like a down dog warrior two combination. So from here, if your back knee is lifted, you're going to spin your back heel down. And just wiggle your left foot so your heel is in line with the arch of the back foot. So I'm wiggling it more towards the right edge of the mat. And then the arms, they're going to walk out towards the corner. So you have warrior two legs and these kind of down dog arms. If you can't touch the ground easily here, grab your blocks. And if it's too much of a stretch to reach forward, you could walk your hands back. And then finally, if it's just too much on the hips to be here, soften that back knee down, uncurl your toe, and you can kind of be in this knee down warrior two. So I hope this is translating okay. It's hard with the video to know if you can see okay, but so legs are like warrior two, hands and arms are like down dog with blocks or without, and you could modify by dropping that back knee. It's going to take a big stretch here. Good. Now, if your back knee happens to be dropped, we're going to pick it up because we're all going to make our way to a wide-legged forward fold. So if that back knee's dropped, just curl your toe under, pop it up, and we're all going to walk our hands and our toes to that long edge of the mat. So kind of wiggle into a wide-legged fold. You might want to adjust the hips, and if the ground is too far away, grab your block or whatever you have nearby. So you're in a wide-legged fold, hands on the ground, or hands on a block, or hands on your legs. And then start to move into your knees. So bend the right knee, the body shifts to the right. Come through center, bend the left knee, the body shifts to the left. And do that again, inhale center. Exhale, right knee bends. Inhale center.
Exhale, left knee bends. One more time each side. Inhale through center. Exhale, shift. Inhale through center. And exhale, shift. Inhale through center. Exhale, deepen your fold right at the hips. Arms could hang off the shoulders. Or take the hands behind your head. Interlace your fingers just like you were going to do a sit-up. And maybe roll the head left to right. So you're cradling it in the hands. Just maneuvering the head side to side to loosen up the neck. And the shoulders and the back. Good, then hold here. Right in center. Let your hands come off the head if you're holding the head. Bend the knees, bring your hands on top of your thighs. Press off your thighs to lengthen. Come all the way up. Inhale, lift the arms out and up. That's a sun breath. And exhale, open arms to shoulder height. Okay, we'll do a little standing work here. Turn the left foot forward. So that was your original front foot. Your heel is in line with the arch of your back foot. Bend your left knee to warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. Look out over your left finger. So those warrior two legs that we just did in that combo, warrior two, down dog, kind of deep lunge. Same thing with your legs here. Without moving your feet, straighten your legs, lift your arms, let your palms touch. And then exhale, release. Warrior two, open the arms, look over the front fingers. Again, inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Good, inhale, lift. Exhale, release to hold the bottom. Take a deep breath in. And full breath out. Take a nice easy tip back in warrior two, back hand to back leg, top arm rises to the ceiling, or just stretches gently over the ear. Reverse warrior, dancing warrior. And then we'll come through warrior two all the way to cartwheel down. So the left arm's gonna go, the right arm is going to follow. You'll pivot on the ball of the back foot and soften the back knee down. And then just take a moment to pause in that knee down lunge once more. Breathing into the hip flexor, breathing into the psoas, the front of the right hip and thigh. Back toes could be curled under or uncurled. For my knees, it feels better to have my back toes curled under, but your knees might feel better with it uncurled, so you can choose what works for you. And then if you want to get a hamstring opener here, we're just going to pull the hips back, straighten the front leg, flex the foot, walk the hands back, lengthen your spine to Ardha Hanumanasana or half monkey pose. You could also do this with your blocks. Good, great pose to have your blocks. Exhale, deep fold. Few breaths. Good job. Let's come out of this. So walk the hands or the blocks forward, roll over the sole of the front foot, dip the hips, move the blocks away if you can. Back out of your hips to slide the front leg back, and then point the elbows back, uncurl your toes, and come to your belly. Coming back to Cobra Pose, press into the hands, lift the heart, anchoring the front of the pelvis, the pubic bone in the hips. The elbows are back, the shoulders are down. And exhale, release to your belly. Let's take it back to child's. Press into the hands, hips all the way to heels, widen the knees, touch your big toes, extend your arms, let the belly and the chest float through the thighs, and then take a little rock across the forehead, across the hips. And then pausing here, just reach the arms a little further forward to get the waist longer. If you'd like, place your palms into prayer, bend your elbows and fold your forearms back to your head. Let the palms reach towards the back of the head, gently resting on the backs of the elbows and the forearms to stretch your triceps, or the backs of the upper arms rather, the elbows and upper arms. Good. Extend your arms. Shift your weight forward to tabletop. All fours, bring the shoulders or the wrists underneath the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips, and wag your hips. So we're going to do the whole thing on the other side. You're going to stay where you are. I'm just going to switch so you'll be able to see a little bit better. And then like we did on that other side, we'll start by taking the right leg back to three-limb table. And we're going to sweep this right leg out and around towards the front of the mat. So you're going to bend your knee and kind of pull it towards the elbow and then step that foot all the way around. And if it doesn't go, just grab it and kind of help it through, okay? So the hands are inside the right foot. You can walk that right foot far enough forward so you get your knee above your ankle and a dip in the hips. But we're not letting the knee pass the ankle, so right above the ankle. Hands are on the ground or hands are on the blocks. And we're starting with this lizard lunge variation. So as you can probably tell, this is a big stretch for your hips, your psoas, your hip flexor. So opening that area up. Pausing here and breathing. So there's going to be plenty of times where we flow, we move one breath per movement in and out of poses, kind of this choreographed dance of our yoga practice, but then also plenty of space and time to be still and really enjoy these deeper stretches. A few breaths here. Good. So like we did on the other side, you have the option to stay or curl your toes under, your back toes, and then lift your back knee. So you're kind of popping up to a different, more vigorous variation of this lizard pose just for a few breaths. And then we're about to take this to that warrior two legs with down dog arms. That's kind of like down dog lunge in warrior two. So from here, spin your back heel down towards the ground. So toe comes out, heel comes down. And now walk the hands a little bit to the left. You could be on the blocks too, right? And you're gonna wiggle that right foot just a little bit to the left so you can your front heel in line with the arch of the back foot. So you have warrior two legs. Now whether you're on the ground or the blocks, you're gonna walk the hands, if you can, to the corner of the room. So right off the mat to the right corner of the room. Legs are in warrior two. You're on your fingertips or your palms. Or if it's too much, you've got that block or two blocks underneath the hands. You could also bring the hands closer. They could be closer to your body. You don't have to be in that down dog shape with the body, but if it works and it feels good, go ahead. Final option, if this feels too much on the hips, you could drop your back knee and just uncurl your toe and kind of kick it off to the side. So my body is like in warrior two, but my knee is down. So you're gonna hold wherever you chose to be, a few breaths. If that back knee's down, see if you can curl your toes under and pop it up. We're all going to walk through center to a wide-legged fold. So walk the fingers, walk the toes to the long edge of the mat, straighten the right knee. Adjust your stance so your toes are in line with each other. So you're in a big wide-legged fold. However you got there is perfect. Toes forward, heels back. Legs are wide, hands on the ground, or your legs, or blocks. And then go ahead and take a deep fold. If it's uncomfortable to be upside down, you can keep the hands on the legs and keep that flat back. And then we'll bring this right into our knees like we did on the other side. So bend the left knee, hip stiff to the left. Inhale through center. Exhale, bend the right knee, hip stiff to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, switch. Inhale, rise. Exhale, switch. And inhale, rise. Exhale, last deep fold. So just hinging at the hips, coming into your version of this wide-legged fold. And if you'd like to take the arm variation that we did on the other side, bring your hands behind your head, interlace your fingers like you're going to do a sit-up, but you can just kind of let the elbows relax and cradle the head. And then if you'd like, roll the head left to right. So one elbow comes closer to the body as the other moves away. Do that a couple times. Pausing in center. Let your hands come off of the head. Bend your knees. Place your hands on top of the thighs. Press the head forward. Press the tail back. Come all the way up to stand. And then at the top, a big sun breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, open arms, shoulder height. Good.
Spin your right foot forward, so the front foot that you were just working with, heel in line with arch of back foot, wrists above your ankles, bend the front knee. Look out over your front fingers. You're in Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Without moving the feet, straighten your arms, lift the arms, let your palms touch. You can shift your gaze to the long edge of the mat. And exhale, release, Warrior 2. The knee bends, the arms open. One more time, inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift. And exhale, release. Hold at the bottom. Take a deep breath in. Full breath out. Legs stay, just tip your body back, backhand to back leg, top arm lifts to the ceiling or stretches right above the face slightly to look up to reverse warrior, dancing warrior. Inhale, arms shoulder height. Breathing out where you are. And then when we're ready, we're going to cartwheel it down. So the front arm, the back arm, pivot on the ball of the back foot and set the back knee down. So we're back towards that similar shape that we did before, almost like lizard lunge, but we're framing our front foot here. And you can bow the head to the heart or keep a long straight spine. Hands on the ground or the blocks. And then from here, draw the hips back, straighten the front leg, walk the hands back, come high on the fingertips, pull the head away from the tail, and exhale a deep fold over the front leg. Good, roll over the sole of the front foot, bend the knee, dip the hips, walk the hands back, and then you unweight the front foot so you can drag it back. Point the elbows back, come down onto your belly. Bring the hands right near the shoulders. Inhale to lift to Cobra. Pull the heart forward, point the elbows back, slide the shoulders down. And exhale, release to your belly. Take it back to child's again. Press into hands, wide in the knees, big toes touch, stretch all the way back. Arms extend or palms to prayer. Elbows could bend and forearms could fold back to head. Couple breaths. Good, extend the arms. Shift forward to tabletop, all fours. Bring the knees back underneath the hips and the wrists back underneath the shoulders and take that little hip wag again. So we'll come up and do just a little more work standing. We'll take a standing balance sequence that we actually practiced Saturday on the lake if you were with us in person or online. So curl your toes under and either walk out to puppy. So if you want to keep it gentle, you could take puppy pose. Or if you want to take dog, hands a little further forward to the shoulders, knees lift and hips press back. So a couple breaths in either your puppy or your dog. And then if you're in puppy, come make your way to forward fold to stand. If you're in dog, walk your feet to your hands or your hands to your feet. Let your feet be hip width distance. Give your head a nod, yes. And a shake, no. Let your head hang heavy, bend your knees, and slowly roll them. At the top, big sun breath, inhale, lift. Hands can come through prayer. Close your eyes, stand up tall, come back to any intention that you set. Maybe come back to that idea of flexibility in your body, your mind, and your heart as you continue through this practice and as you transition off the mat today. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, release your arms. Take a sun breath to the top. We're going to stay standing. As you exhale, just open the arms, catch your hips, and walk up towards the top of the mat. We'll do a little bit of standing work and balance work before we come to the mat. So stand on the left foot, Take the right leg back to a high lunge. So very familiar for many of you, just a crescent lunge. We practice this pose a lot in our classes together. So inhale, lift the arms like Tadasana or mountain pose, and you're gonna pause there. You're gonna stay right where you are, and I'm just gonna turn this way because we're gonna take this into a balance. So you're in your high lunge, your crescent lunge, pausing. Right leg is back, left leg is forward. And then from your crescent lunge, bring your hands to prayer above your head. Slide your hands down to heart center. We're about to shift our weight forward and just stand on that left foot and elevate the right foot slightly. So pitch the body forward, stand on the left foot, come up to the left foot and just elevate the right leg like a little baby crane pose, so it's barely lifted, and then turn the knee out and either come to a baby tree with the foot on the ankle or even the toes to the ground and the heel on the ankle, or more of a full tree with your foot to your calf, or even a more advanced version of tree with the foot to the inner thigh. So choosing what works for you in your tree pose, balancing there. And then from tree, slide your hands maybe to frame the head with soft elbows, so the palms are right above the head, the crown of the head, or even straight in your arms. The elbows are straight and you'll hold. Or open the arms like branches. Good. Hold here. And now we're going to step that foot that's in the air, that's on your thigh or your calf, into Utkatasana or standing squat. So release your tree, parallel feet, arms come down, bend the knees, bend the hips. They sweep down and up to sit into chair. So we are here. Few breaths in chair pose. On an inhale, stand up to Tadasana, mountain pose. Exhale, swan dive over your legs, either straight legs or bent knees. Half sun salutation. Inhale, lengthen spine, bring hands to shins or fingertips to mat, flat back to stretch out. Exhale, deep fold over the legs. With either straight legs or bent knees, reverse swan dive, fly up. And exhale, again, hands back to prayer in front of the heart. Maybe the eyes closed for just a moment as you recenter. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, release your arms. We'll do the whole thing on the top. So you'll take your sun breath, you'll stay standing. As you exhale, open the arms, catch your hips, and then walk up towards the top of the mat. Stand more on the right foot. Slide the left leg back to high lunge, crescent lunge. You're on the ball of the back foot, the hips are square, the front knee is bent, the back leg is straight. Inhale, lift the arms to frame your head like Tadasana or mountain pose. You're going to stay. So you're in your high lunge. You're gazing forward. That's where your drishti or focal point is. Now you know where you're headed, so it'll be a little easier on this side. Bring your hands to prayer above the head. Slide them to heart center. Shift the weight forward slightly, so you're kind of bowing over the front leg slightly, so you're ready to stand up on that right leg and lift the left leg to a little baby crane pose. Pick the left leg up, so you're standing on one foot. Bring that foot to your ankle with knee turned out, to your calf, or to your inner thigh. So we're meeting in a tree pose. Hold your tree. Maybe bring in a smile, relax your face and your eyes. Hands could stay, or they could come right above the crown of the head with soft, wide elbows. Or you could straighten the arms above the head. You could open the arms like branches. And then we're going to scoop the arms down and step that foot into Utkatasana. So feet parallel, arms scoop down, bend the knees, bend the hips. They fly forward and up. You sit into chair and pause here. Inhale, straighten legs. Exhale, swan dive over the legs. Inhale, lengthen, flat back, Ardha Uttanasana. Stretch it out. Exhale, deep fold. Step the right leg back and land on your right knee. Step the left leg back and land on your left knee. Toes curled under. Walk your hands out to puppy. Melt the chest and bring the forehead or the chin to the mat to pause. Few breaths.
Uncurl your toes. Sit back on your heels to child's. This time maybe keep the knees hip width so the chest and belly are on the thighs, and float the arms alongside the body. Backs of hands to the ground, palms open, couple breaths. Good. Slide the hands back underneath the shoulders. Press into the hands to roll up or lengthen up to sit on your heels. And we'll come right to seated. So just bring the hips off to the side. Swing the legs around to the front. And we'll scooch up towards the top of the mat. We'll do a little work on our backs. So I'm going to grab my block. If you have a block, use that, or a bolster, but you don't necessarily need it. We're going to do a supported bridge as an option, so you could do it without a block too. So if you're tuning in, normally we end at 10. We're going to go till 10:15 because we started late today. So if you have to log off, it's okay. But if you're still with me, we'll do a little bit more work, some stuff on the mat before we take Shavasana. So block or bolster nearby if you have it. Lift your arms up. Exhale, slowly lower. Tuck your tail. Scoop your belly. Keep going all the way down under the back. When you get down, nice big stretch. Stretch the legs forward, stretch the arms behind you, stretching the armpits, the ribs, the chest, the belly. And then gather your knees up into your body. Hold your knees or your shins or wrap the arms around the legs and take a rock side to side. Then bringing hands onto the tops of the knees, circle the knees a couple times in one direction. And then circle the knees the other way. Good. And place your feet down onto the ground, your knees up towards the ceiling. Preparing for that bridge pose. You're going to press into the feet and start to lift the hips. If you have a bolster or a block or anything like a pillow or cushion, any kind of supportive thing that you could use, you can slide that underneath your low back. And it can rest right at the tailbone or the sacrum. Your block, if you have it, could be on a low setting. That would be the most gentle stretch. It could be medium, it could be high. And then the arms can come alongside the body like Shavasana. If you don't have a bolster or a block, you can take a gentle bridge pose, maybe like a 50 or 75% of bridge, so not forcing, just a nice easy bridge, and rest there for a few breaths. So we're all meeting in some variation of a bridge pose if that's comfortable. Eyes can close. Breath can soften. And body can relax. Relaxing through the forehead and the jaw and the eyes. Soft face, relaxing all those muscles around the face, the eyes, the jaw, the ears, the mouth, the throat. And even relaxing through the chest and the collarbones and the arms. And the belly and the hips and the thighs. And if you're in the supported version, the legs, the glutes and the quadriceps, the backs of the legs, the front of the legs. If you're in a traditional version of bridge without a prop, just using the least amount of effort to hold yourself up. Still finding that sense of softness or ease here. Take another deep breath in. And full breath out. If you're on a prop, you're going to press your weight into your feet to lift the hips just enough so you can slide that block or bolster away. Lower your hips back down.
Let's take the arms out to T and cross the right ankle over the left knee. So we're meeting in figure 4 for a hip opener. You could stay here or pick the left foot up, hold the back of the left thigh or the front of the left shin. And you can either keep the left leg bent, or if you want to straighten the left leg, you could extend it towards the ceiling. So that would just create a more active stretch here. So you choose what your body wants. And then maybe close your eyes if you haven't already. Good. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, release the left foot down towards the ground. If it was lifted, open the arms to T, cross the legs closer, inner thighs touch. Press into the bottom foot to shift the hips to the right. You're more on the left hip. And then let the knees go to the left. Turn your head to the right. You could even bring the left hand to the outer edge of the right thigh. You could also stack the legs if it feels more comfortable. And then turn the head away from the knees finally, and maybe close the eyes or relax the gaze. And just take a few easy breaths in the spinal twist. And then when you're ready, let your knees come up through center. Press into your bottom foot to shift your hips back. Unwind your legs. Come to the other side, cross your left ankle over the right knee and hold. Stay here or pick the right foot up. Hold the back of the right thigh or the front of the right shin. Lengthen your spine. Keep your legs where they are or extend your right leg high if you'd like. You'll take a few breaths. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, release your right foot down to the ground. Open the arms to T. Cross the legs closer so the inner thighs are touching. Press into the bottom foot to shift your hips over to the left so you're more on the right hip. And then bring the knees towards the right as you turn your head to the left, either keeping the knees crossed or unwinding the legs and stacking them. A few breaths here. When you're ready, just let the head come through center. Bring the knees back through center. Press into the bottom foot to shift the hips back and unwind the legs. Take a moment to step the feet about as wide as the mat. Knees up towards the ceiling, feet nice and wide. And just a couple easy windshield wipers, left to right with the knees. And as the knees come to the right, maybe turn your head to the left. As the knees come to the left, turn your head to the right. And take that a couple times. And then bring your knees through center, soles of feet towards the ground. Let the inner thighs and the knees touch each other so they knock towards each other, and you can pigeon toe the feet slightly, so toes in, heels out. Arm bones can slide down about a 45-degree angle at the armpit, or bend the elbows and let the hands rest on the low belly, or slide one hand up to the chest and one hand on the low belly. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, turn your head to the right and pause. Now send your breath and your awareness into the left side of your neck. Take a deep inhale. And full exhale. As you inhale, come through center. As you exhale, up and over the other way. To pause. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Inhale through center. Exhale where you are. Take a moment just to land and be right here, right now, inviting in all the sensations of your body and your mind and your heart. Honoring yourself just as you are in this moment. Inviting in and welcoming all parts of yourself. All the feelings, all the sensations. Whatever's happening in your body or your mind or your heart. Letting it be just as it is. Perfect just as it is. And in a moment, we'll come to Shavasana. So if there's any final movement or postures that you want to take, you could come into them now. You could rest here for another moment. Or you could come into Shavasana by just separating the knees slightly, extending the right leg long, and then the left leg long, and letting the arms fall off the body. So there's 45 degrees at the armpit with the palms open towards the ceiling and the backs of the hands to the ground. Your eyes can close. And your breath can soften. So you'll stay here in Shavasana for a few moments in stillness and silence. Letting your breath soften. Letting your body relax. Letting your mind settle. And being open to invite in whatever you're seeking from this morning's practice today, whatever you need, whatever you desire. So you'll stay a few more moments just as you are. As you lie here in Shavasana, I'll share a reading with you before we close out our practice together, called Fear by Khalil Gabran. It is said that before entering the sea, a river trembles with fear. She looks back at the path she has traveled, from the peaks of the mountains, the long winding road crossing forests and villages. And in front of her, she sees an ocean so vast that to enter there seems nothing more than to disappear forever. But there is no other way. The river cannot go back. Nobody can go back. To go back is impossible in existence. The river needs to take the risk of entering the ocean, because only then will fear disappear, because that's where the river will know it's not about disappearing into the ocean, but of becoming the ocean. As you lie here, beginning to let your breath deepen again, and your awareness come back to sensation in the body. Then bringing movement back into the outer edges of the body, the fingers or the toes. And eventually coming on to either side to come into a fetal position with the knees into the belly and the arms into the chest. And take your time to press the ground away, so you can press up to seated. And then let the backs of your hands touch your knees or your lap. Let your palms open. Lengthen your spine from the bottom of the tail to the top of your head. Take a deep breath in. And full breath out. On your next inhale, let your hands float together to prayer position, Anjali Mudra, as they meet in front of the heart, palms touch. Exhale to bow your head back to yourself, back to your own heart and body, and to any intention that you created today. We'll end together on the sound of Om, the sound of community, starting with a letting go breath, so you can breathe in through the nose, out through your mouth. We'll begin. Take a deep breath in. As your head bows back to yourself, taking one last moment to honor the divinity and the light that shine within you. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for being flexible today. I'm so glad that we were able to practice together. So if you stumbled upon us, usually we're on Zoom on Monday mornings at 9, but today we were